Go. And we are back, guys. It has been some time since you've seen us. We apologize for that. That was hang on. Yeah, there we go. That was mostly my fault. My man Trayvon was always like, "Hey man, you trying to record today?" And I had just some really good, some reasons not to. Personal stuff, but we're back, and here we are. We're gonna very, very, very briefly recap everything that's happened in the past. How long has it been? 2 months?
I would say 3 months. I'm
maybe
not exactly
3.
sure though.
Might have been July when we last.
and about 4 Corona years.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 4 Corona years. It's got to become a unit of time. And then we're gonna go over the card to be what might be fight of the year or upset of the year. It depends. Gaethje versus Khabib, UFC 254. Yeah, Fight Island. So yeah. I mean, just you can start with what you want to go over from the back.
Just like super quick recaps over because the last card we did, I believe, it was the Ige and Cater card, and that was it.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, I believe it was the Ige and Cater card. Let me see when it happened, because we talked about.
I remember that.
We talked about a lot of stuff. Because I remember we skipped Ian Calvillo.
And we had to review the Poirier Hooker card in that one.
We talked about the Poirier Hooker card, yes. Did we talk? Yeah, we talked about Jorge and Masvidal and the whole that good card.
That was our last one.
No. Yeah, the Cater and Eagle card was on July 16th. So.
Yeah, I told you it was July. So we're coming here 3 months. Yeah, August, September, October. 3 months and 5 days out.
We might have talked about the Figueiredo and Benavidez card. I don't remember.
When we talked about that. I don't know.
Maybe in person.
I remember we had to talk about it because I said Benavidez loves to lead with his head and shift because he has no choice, and you're all defending
we previewed it. Maybe we previewed it for the card. Okay, yeah. So Figueiredo's gonna be a good champ, for at least entertaining champ. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm just gonna quickly go over each card in my opinion. Whitaker and Till. I'm glad Whitaker won. I like Whitaker. Yeah, good fight. We're gonna speak more about Whitaker today, of course. Shabazian and Brunson. Ain't Shabazian your boy? Because he's a fellow Armenian just like you.
Heartbroken, man. But that I learned a valuable lesson from that. I was disagreeing with you at first, but then it's similar to when Boris Chimaev. My God, we haven't even talked about Khamzat Chimaev. He took the thing by storm. That's crazy. We missed Khamzat Mania, but these guys. So I'm a bit of a Trayvon calls me a culture thief. I'm like. My mom's white, but my dad is Armenian. It's like Armenia and the Caucasus and Persian. So anytime a fighter comes from that region, like the mountains or Iran, I'm always a stand. And I was like, Shabazian's the future, blah, blah, blah. And he gets fucked up by Derek Brunson. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I saw Chimaev, and I was like, Chimaev can smash everything. I bought into the hype, and I learned that night, and then in watching Khamzat develop, he was right, Trayvon. It's really important to let prospects grow over the years. Like Islam Makhachev was thrown in too early against whoever the fuck knocked him out, who's a decent guy.
Martins. Yeah, Martins a good fight. Yeah, he's like a really solid veteran type guy. And he just ran into a counter and got knocked out.
Yeah, but now
Islam's a darn good fighter now.
He's 7-5 win streak because he was allowed to slow cook. Even Khabib had an extensive regional career against bums.
If Khabib had to fight, Khabib probably lost to Trinaldo. Not Trinaldo. I'm sorry. T-Bow. They're all the same. But
it was up in the air.
All the swole Brazilians. But no, yeah, he probably lost it to T-Bow. I mean, it's a close fight.
It was a close fight. It could have gone either way. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, but that was when he was young in his career. Like if he had to fight, like I don't know, let me think of somebody like at the time.
RDA at that fight, that moment.
Yeah, RDA at that time. Yeah, he got smoked probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are people who would have given him a huge bunch of problems in that point. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, man. Even ridiculous talents like Max Holloway's, like the Connors and whatnot, they have to take time to develop. You know what I mean? Like Max Holloway came in the UFC. Max Holloway came in the UFC like 20, and like he came in the UFC like 20. And he won way more fights than he should have, just in general. But he took his little losses there, lost there, lost to Poirier, lost to Bermudez, lost to Connor. He just can't go out there like at 22, 23, 24, beating Connor, just a developed fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, he can't go out there and beat Dennis Bermudez, just 22, 21, just whatever. And if you watch a lot of Max's early fights, some of them he just wins, he just beats the guy up. But he has to like build himself into the fight. Like he can't he's not dominating off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's quick. Edmund lost. I'm happy Brunson's looking good. So on to the next part. Lewis and Oleinik. H-Town, hold it down. You already know what it is.
That was
For Stipe and Cormier 3, I had DC. I'm sorry. I had Stipe winning the fight. So I'm not really surprised about him winning.
Same, yeah.
I respect DC a whole lot,
Me
but
too.
he just not, to me, he's just not an all-time great fighter. He's just he's just not an all-time great fighter to me. Like, unfortunately, like DC, he's like the guy.
He's always a second.
And John
best.
Jones, and John Jones said it makes it even worse. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's just like that second best guy, because he never was the best light heavyweight in the world, clear. And you can make the argument that he has I don't want to say it's not fluky, but he never was the best heavyweight in the world either. You know what I mean? Like, he got beat twice, clear. Yeah. He has one nice win. Yeah, he's just a guy that if you beat him, you're an all-time great.
Yeah.
But he's not the all-time
great. It's the
great.
highest level gatekeeper almost. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He's a championship level gatekeeper, which is ridiculous.
It's a shame. Well, it's like that. It's like he defends the throne, like the last step up to the throne. That's him. If you beat him, you're definitely elite. But the thing is,
yes, exactly.
I love Daniel Cormier though. I love especially his story. How he always says he's just a kid from Louisiana, Lafayette. Is that where he's from?
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like. He does so like people will hate on him because he's a company man, and he definitely is a shill. I'm not so stupid as to say he's not a shill. He's a shill.
Yeah, he's a shill.
Yeah, but like my response to that is like I don't have to hate him because like there's like how many people do you know who are 100% things you like? You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
There are things I don't like about myself, for fuck's sake. You know what I'm saying?
But, I think one of the more problems I have with him too, man, is like not his personality per se, but like his fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the overall big picture of him assuming that himself is a elite fighter. Not mad at him for assuming he's an elite fighter. He should be doing that, yes. Mm-hmm. But the aura around him is that Daniel Cormier is a GOAT candidate. He's top tier great, and I never thought of that about him. And I don't want to be mean to him. You know what I mean? I really don't want to be mean to him. Mm-hmm. But again, like when I see Daniel Cormier, I don't see. This guy's a GOAT candidate. This guy's in the all the GSP, DJ, like John Jones, Fedor, Conor Max type of range. You know what I mean? I don't see that when I see Daniel Cormier. Yeah. I just see like this guy's really good, especially for his division.
Exactly. And all that. The thing that separated him from a guy like Jones is you can see in Jones's fight when DC would get the first one, especially would get a collar tie and start throwing those bus driver uppercuts, as Jack likes to call them. The thing he does. Jones very quickly learned, okay, I have to put 2-on-1 on the free hand and stifle DC, and then he's going to release that upper collar tie. Jones was adaptable and creative, whereas DC is an extremely disciplined and gifted athlete, and those things make him an elite fighter as far as just being at the top of the heap is concerned, but not like rare amongst rare men. Like he was never creative. He never adapted. Like when you watch Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero 2, the amount that Whittaker had to, come up, the things he had to do in that fight to survive and then to come back and pull it back out and then get hurt again. DC was never that guy. You punch him in the body and he backs up and he has extreme problems. And then that's it. He lowers his hands and he gets hit in the head.
Yeah, and then like the extreme technical gaps in his game just really just don't help him. You know what I mean? Like it just really doesn't help him because he has to like smash through everything to win. He has to like grit it out like against Gustafsson in their fight. He has to like bite down on his mouthpiece,
go for it,
and win that fight. Yeah. But against good guys, they're just gonna get beat up and lose. You know what I mean?
When you see his wrestling, though, that's one. He's a great wrestler. You have to see when he gets on that single leg. Oh, it's some of the most beautiful shit to watch. And that's why it was so good in the heavyweight division, like against like Roy Nelson, against guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Josh, he just picked him up and shit. But yeah, big respect to DC. I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters. I wish he would have beaten John. I wish he would have won the trilogy. I wanted more for him. He should have just fucking beat Stipe. Beat Lewis, got some big fight. Like, I wanted him to fight fucking Brock Lesnar and just retire. Because then, it's in, like, we know he was a not GOAT, but then he has a bigger argument. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I did it on the King of the Hill, and then that's it. But whatever, we got to move on to the next event. Respect DC.
The next event was Frankie and Munoz. Very good fight. Like I say, I used to be a Frankie Edgar fan, not so much anymore. But I'm still very happy to see him win. Very happy to see him do well. I don't know if he won. But the fight was really good, and it's good to see him just fighting at a high level. A good level.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Rakic and Smith ignore. On to the next fight.
That was horrible.
Overeem and Saki I like to see Overeem win, man. Me too. I just like to see Overeem catch dubs. You know what I mean? Same. Like Overeem just like he's just an OG. You know what I mean? And he's
We're-
always getting better.
It's weird. He makes changes all the time.
I know. Yes, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, obviously, he's very
Shot.
flawed as a fighter. Yeah, very shot as a fighter.
Yeah.
But like, he just, if you're not ready to fight or can't fight, he gonna beat you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Waters and Hill. The next fight, my girl Hill won, but it's all right though. I ain't gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah,
Kobe
Hill
and
should have won
Woodley-
that fight.
Yeah, Kobe and Woodley. I don't. Have you talked? Have you talked about Woodley? I think we talked enough.
We
about
talked
Woodley.
about him when he got his ass kicked by the last guy, Gilbert Burns. Yeah,
by Burns.
How he's
yeah.
a nothing fighter.
So-
We went on a spiel about that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
same thoughts, just getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time he fights.
Yeah, just damn. Adesanya was beautiful. I was hoping we could get an episode for Adesanya and Costa, but we didn't. Adesanya did better than I thought. I thought he was going to win regardless. Costa had a horrific gameplay. He didn't even try to win his game. I think he would have lost regardless if he would have tried his game or not. But Costa didn't even try to even put himself into the fight to win.
Well, it's because he doesn't have many ways of doing that. You notice, he likes to.
He does. Yes, he doesn't. I agree. He doesn't have many ways to do that, but like he still didn't like. There were times where Izzy would like just back up himself, and he didn't even like pressure or even commit to a sustained attack. It was ridiculous. Like,
Well, a friend of mine asked me about that, if I may. I thought it's because Izzy was feigning him to death in the open, right? So he drew a lot of hesitancy out of him.
He did. He was very hesitant, and he did get feinted to death. But like, are you not prepared for that? Like, do you not watch Izzy like
exactly
at all? Like,
and it's a fight. You're gonna get hit. Go for it. Your whole thing is bullying people, right? Your whole thing is swarming them. Yeah,
dude, you're getting hit by your will, and be like, all right, it's whatever. Like, I think he would have lost regardless. I think Costa would have lost regardless, no matter what. He's just not built to win this fight.
Right.
But he didn't even like.
Well, you know, in a rare moment where Chael Sonnen spoke some actual truth, he said Costa had no plan B. I put it to my friend as he had no plan C.
Plan A.
Well, his plan A is always because he fought southpaws the last couple times he fought, but he likes to kick to the open side, corral you into the fence, kind of like he'll get an outside foot angle with his because he's an orthodox fighter, if I'm not mistaken, and then he'll get you to flee to the open angle and then throw a right body kick, and he keeps you there, right? That's how he keeps you against the fence, and he swarms you with body punches and stuff, right? But so that's usually his plan A, and it didn't work. And against like Uriah Hall, he was doing weird shit, like checking his hand, like he's playing the DC mummy guard and like throwing switch kicks and didn't do anything. And actually, he had to really work himself back in that fight because that was probably Hall's best performance despite losing. But like that's like his plan B, and like whatever. The point is, he didn't have a like if those two things, mainly the first thing, the open side kicks and stuff, don't work. He just looked like I even messaged you. I was like, he's making Paulo look clueless. Like he just looked. Yeah, he had nothing to do. He just stood there and.
I know, right? He just looked. He looked weird. I'm not weird. He just looked like awestruck. But onto the co-main of that card, yeah. I'm so happy for Jan, man. Big Jan. I love Big Jan so much, man.
Bullish
He's
power.
So cool, man.
Bullish power.
Also,
Bullish power.
Yes.
I love it.
Also, man, John Jones left at the perfect time. My goodness, man. Very, 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 very good timing on his part. He left at the perfect time because light heavyweight's now finally like
developing
a division shift. Yeah, a little bit, but shifting to hurt his weaknesses. And yeah, he left at the perfect time. Yeah. Perfect time. Next card, Holman Aldana. Footwork is very important. Understand that. Next card, which is 2 away from the one we're on, Moraes and Sandhagen. I thought Moraes was gonna win that fight. So I'm very impressed by Sandhagen. I always think Sandhagen's a really good fighter. I thought Sandhagen is like high potential. But I thought Moraes was gonna kick the hell out of his legs, back him up. But Sandhagen played really good with his feints in the distance and didn't let Moraes do anything really. So props to Sandhagen. And it makes the Aljo win look even better. So I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? I'm happy about that.
I was so surprised by that loss. He just jumped on his back and fucking took his soul.
It happens, you know what I mean? It happens a lot. It happens to a lot of good fighters, you know what I mean? That happens a lot. Zombie and Ortega. I thought Zombie was gonna win this one.
Me too.
But Ortega looked polished. You know what I mean? He looked polished for coming back. Like I actually want to see Ortega against elite guys now.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think he's gonna win against the elite guys. By elite guys, I mean Volk and Holloway. But I think
Holloway will still swallow him up.
Yeah, and I think Volk still beats him. I rate Volk extremely highly, man. I think more than most people. Like to me, Volk and Holloway are two of the best fighters on the planet. But I think I want to see Brian Ortega fight some elite guys. Like I would like to see him fight Zabit. I think Ortega would beat Zabit. I think he'd beat Zabit, especially over 5.
Yeah, outlast him and eventually win. And I think
I want to.
Zabit would, because Zabit has got a good ground game, but if you look, he's actually kind of sloppy. Like he makes mistakes on the ground, and I feel like that's a place where Ortega would make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I said, that probably be really fun to watch. I want to see Ortega fight Kattar. I think I might pick Ortega in that one. I think, but I mean, like I just have to spend some more time looking at it. Same. I want to see Ortega fight the top guys at 145.
Same.
Because 45 is a division that needs some like fights happening. Yeah. Needs some action.
And he looked creative. He always has got a lot of ideas on the feet. Like he seems always very full of ideas. And but to this time he looked calculated with them. Right? Like he was establishing, like you were telling me, tangible threats. Right? Like he was countering well. He was throwing a good jab. Especially toward the end, he was. Zombie just kind of waited for it, I guess, like a zombie, and he was checking his hand, throwing a jab, right? And but like when Zombie ran in and he threw that spinning elbow, like this time it was fun stuff. Like it was like, oh, this is interesting. He's like slapping the lead leg and then coming over with an overhand or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he looked like you took the parts of his game that made him Ortega and you like put them in a polished base, and then
yes, man, yeah,
yeah,
he looked good.
He did.
And also, I really like he had a like, just as a little side thing, I like he had an active lead hand as a southpaw. I really like that. That's always makes me really happy to see, especially because it's really hard to get your lead hand going in the southpaw to orthodox matchups. Mm-hmm. But like he was able to hook off his jab, get his paw the lead hand, get stuff going. And another a little thing too that I want to talk about that happened on the card. Jessica Andrade is finished Kaden Chikagan with like an arm punch to the body, and I just thought that was just funny to me. Like just Jessica Andrade is just like, she's interesting to me.
I love her.
She's so physically she's just so physically dominant and so physically strong.
She's just a ball of power, yeah.
Yeah, and like she hit Kaden Chikagan with like a little baby punch. Like how many times have you seen that type of punch like land in real life and like just nothing, like in a fight and just keep on fighting, nothing happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Caitlyn was like, "Oh my God, I've been shot! Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? Damn near died off of that." Jessica Andrade, I don't really see nobody at flyweight who's gonna beat her except for Valentina. She'll beat her.
Probably,
yeah. Other than Valentina, who's gonna beat Jessica? You know what I mean? Like,
well, and Jessica, even though to be honest, like in her last fight against Rose, it was really exaggerated stuff. Like it was just drastic head movement, but she was still moving her head. Like she looks like she's doing things she should be doing.
Jessica Andrade, she's very crude, but she's very smart, and she builds up information into a fight and uses that information to do good. Yeah. Like again against Rose in the second fight, she started losing. She started off losing, and she got herself into the fight. And started to beat the hell out of Rose at the end. Rose just survived to win. She was going, had to survive.
Well, because Rose was hitting it with the tie clinch and doing stuff, and then Andrade was like, "I'm gonna rip your body apart," and Rose is not taking a body shot. Yeah, like Andrade, to be honest, she adapts well, and I thought it was just great how she just sprinted at Chikagan and just jumped in the air like Khabib used to do, and just come. Like I think that was the finishing sequence, right? Didn't she sprint across the octagon and like throw a?
Yeah, kind of, yeah, like. But no, yeah, like I said, I really like Andrade. At first, I didn't really like her that much. So I'm like, she's just pure like physicality. She still heavily is. Like she's not.
She slammed the fuck out of Chikagan. She just picked her up and dumped her.
But like I don't know. I've grown to appreciate Andrade. Maybe I don't know. I just grown to appreciate her. Okay. So now we're actually no. Go ahead.
I just think she's a sweetheart. I like her.
No, she really is, man. She's awesome. But yeah. So now to the actual card after 3 months of recap. 3 months of recap. We're here at UFC 254. Khabib and Justin. I'm like we talk about this fight just
so
privately
much.
So much, man. So much. So I'm gonna be quick. I'm looking at my prediction first, and then I'll describe after. I think Justin is gonna beat Khabib. Okay. I've been saying this for the longest. I've been having this mindset since 2018. I put my thoughts on Twitter, and that's it. But like I've been speaking about, I've been having it in my mind, talking to people. I think Justin's the guy to beat Khabib. I've been thinking that for the longest. I think my like mostly when I pick fights, I try not to make assumptions, or at least like big assumptions. Like for example, Corey fighting Moraes, right? I could have assumed that Corey was going to be smart and play with the rhythm and draw out kicks and counter the kicks, but I never really seen Corey do that. He's so I seen him pressure a lot, get backed up. I didn't know if he could do that. He did a great job against Moraes. That's how he won. In this fight against Justin, this fight against Khabib for Justin, I'm assuming some things that I don't know. I don't know how Justin's takedown defense against the cage is going to be. I think he's going to get pushed against the cage at least once or twice. It's a fight. It happens. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming his bottom game is at least competent, smart. You know what I mean? I don't know what he looks like on the bottom. I know he scrambles up well. He's strong. He's hard to hold down. I understand that, but still. The reason I'm assuming that is because, again, and we both talk about this a lot for both sides, but both guys, they seem like they have a good read on the dynamic of the fight. I think on a quick note for Khabib, I think he's really underrated as like a tactician. He's really smart as a fighter. He doesn't to me, he doesn't do stupid things. I always say like some skill sets that are lacking, they don't lead to success as much as they lead to more success than they should for him. But Khabib is a very smart fighter. He does the simple stuff that he needs to do well. He'll pressure Barboza hard as hell. He knows easy work to pressure him. Yeah. I pressure him hard as hell. He can't do nothing to me. Yeah, you know what I mean. He'll draw things out of guys. Simple things like from the big picture stuff, like pressuring Edson, to the small picture stuff. Like I always like this when we talk about this a lot too. Like in the third round, Khabib threw a naked right hand and immediately ducked under Connor's counter left. Just ready for the counter. You know, he knows that this stuff is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great.
From the small picture stuff to the big picture stuff. Khabib is going to be prepared, and he's a smart guy.
He knows the threats,
Yes, but I think Justin, just his game is just very bad for Khabib. It fits in places that Khabib doesn't want to be at, or Khabib that normally has dominance.
I agree.
When like Justin, I say this. The reason I'm picking Justin, to me, he has no reason to step back. Or has no reason to concede massive amounts of ground. Mm-hmm. Justin, he can plant his feet and stay there. He can. He should be circling and moving and taking angles as he's shown. But against Khabib, he has no reason to respect the shot, at least in open space, especially in open space. But especially in that open space, not respect will lead him to not being pushed against a cage as much. Will lead him to not being taken down as much. I think he can match Khabib very heavily in the clinch. Obviously, at range is kind of Justin for free. You know what I mean? He can control range well. His try to work with his leg kicks and his body work. That'll do a number on Khabib.
It will.
It'll do a number on Khabib. Again, Khabib is an all-time great fighter. Top tier, elite as it gets. I just think his game, even though lightweight is elite and hilariously elite, his game isn't really challenged or checked in that division in a way. Yeah. There's no elite counter wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Almost every division has an elite counter wrestler that you have to go through. And lightweight kind of doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. I can't the best counter wrestler might be even in his history, maybe I don't know, maybe yes, maybe, or a pin, but that's PG pin though. So yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, lightweight's history never really had good counter wrestlers. It's funny, it's funny. And welterweight, you got all these darn good elite counter wrestlers like Leon, Jorge, Usman especially, Kobe, Tyron Woodley. You got I just named five guys just like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At middleweight, you got Yoel, Whitaker.
Especially Whitaker.
Brunson.
He's probably the best.
Especially yes, you know what I mean?
At featherweight, you had Jose Aldo, and at 135.
Just Aldo. Prime Chad Mendes. You're not taking Prime Chad Mendes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have all these, these guys. Well, lightweight, it doesn't have people to threaten.
I agree.
Khabib in the spaces that he normally has. Not saying that Khabib isn't elite, because he's disgustingly elite. Mm-hmm. Very good. One of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. I just think Justin just can match him in the spaces that he's weakest and doesn't have to too much fear the spaces that Khabib has to get to, because he can put barriers to those entries. Okay. Again, like I said, I'm picking Gaethje, man. Probably late finish. I wouldn't be surprised if Khabib is ridiculously tough and survives, but I think he starts to Wilson down, and just finishes him pretty much. And again, I'm riding on Gaethje, man. If he wins, it's gonna make me look really smart. So I'm really hoping he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I think I've flip-flopped a lot on this. I think I've always leaned heavily toward Gaethje probably wins this fight. I'm a Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm both of their fans, but I love Khabib. Yeah, he's my guy. I prefer Khabib to Justin. So I hope I'm wrong. And today I felt more confident that because I don't like to read too much into what fighters say about fight, because you can say I can analyze a fighter, but they'd still kick my ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's just sort of an extreme example of knowing and being able to do a thing aren't the same. You know what I mean? But like you mentioned, Khabib is actually a very good tactician. He was in an interview today talking about how not only was he impressed with Gaethje's performance in his last fight, but how he specifically expects. He says basically he specifically expects good footwork, good control of distance with leg kicks, trying to make Khabib miss on shots, trying to make Khabib come in and take damage and get countered for it. Like all the things that all of Gaethje's paths to victory here, Khabib was saying, yes, I know this. And it's the same because Ferguson and I are both forward pressure fighters. I don't know if he meant this, but we're him and Ferguson are the same, so they don't cut off the cage. They usually just go in a straight line. You know what I'm saying? And that a guy like Gaethje can really punish you for that. So, like, from a strictly analytical perspective, I actually have a very hard time seeing how Khabib gets to the takedown. Like, there's lots of unknowns. Like, I don't know. Like, if Khabib shoots on him out the gate, or just if he surprises him with a single early and they're not sweaty, can he finish that like he finished the single on McGregor? I don't know that. Like, I don't like. There's obviously the whole like. Okay, one thing I don't buy about with Gaethje's take on this fight is, I have folk style defense to takedowns. He's never seen that in his life. That to me is like he trains in AKA. There's plenty of Deron Wynn and the other guy Kyle something with a K, Kushner or something like that. Those guys are all Americans. I think the guy, the other one I mentioned, the white dude, he's an NCAA champion. They do folk style. You know what I'm saying? Like and also in combat sambo they use lots of folk style rides, lots of folk style defenses. I don't buy that. I'm not one of these people who sees he has this mystic magical takedown defense where no one's seen it before. He's coming out of the cage. No. But what I don't know is like it's an unknown for me. I don't know how it's going to happen early on. I think as the trend is in Khabib's fights later on, he doesn't. His shot in open space is always not great. Right, it's always pretty bad. But later on in the fight, he has a way harder time finishing low singles. In fact, I don't think I've seen him finish low single against an elite guy out there. Every time he entered clinches really well against McGregor in the third round, a couple of times, he couldn't finish it. Right, like McGregor just stuffed them because he didn't have the drive. And he's not the type of wrestler who like a Kevin Lee who can drive into open space through those takedowns. That's not his strength. That's not a knock on him because he does other things to compensate for it that make him elite. But so I don't think he gets it like that. What he's going to have to do if he wants to win this fight, in my opinion, is find some way to reliably enter clinches with Gaethje, right? And use, not shots, I'm talking about upper body clinches or something, and use those to either force scrambles out of Gaethje that tire him or get him to the fence, right? Because now my assumptions I'm making here are Gaethje will have good takedown defense against the fence, but Khabib is going to have answers for it. I like the guys who have shitty takedown defense against the fence are like Edson Barboza, like against elite, like they just have bad ideas. Like they want to frame against your face instead of
Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, it was bad choices.
It's takedown defense. Oh my god.
Well, it's all it's guillotines. But like he just tries wall walking and then hitting switches and then guillotining. Like that's like the holy trinity for him. But like Khabib is just designed to defeat someone who does those things, But like I'm assuming if he gets to the fence, Gaethje's gonna get taken down. The biggest assumption I'm making in this fight would be I sincerely doubt Gaethje is gonna have a lot of answers for Khabib if he ends up on his back. I think
what. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt. Yes,
go for it.
Like I said, that's one of the big things that I just don't know. That's so vital and important. And makes it just I can't like even though committing hard to my Gaethje pick, I can't feel just 100% confident that Gaethje is gonna win. Cause just even if he could have like somebody like Al Iaquinta. He has really good bottom game defense. And he can use it to stand up. Yeah. I know really good. Yeah, that's the best part of his game.
Yeah, it's just surviving in the bottom. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how Gaethje is. I think he's gonna scramble up hard. I think he'll probably be able to do like once or twice, maybe, man. But I don't trust him to do it over a fight. I don't trust him to be able to.
It takes way more energy to scramble.
And it's gonna take a lot. Yes, it's gonna take a lot of energy. But no, get back onto
So what I was saying was like what Gaethje will do from the bottom. I think is like he'll constantly be looking to build a base, either to hip out and get on a hip, and then use that to build a tripod or a quad pod. But like. Like if let's say Khabib takes him down and ends up in like a side control position, Gaethje's gonna look to get to his side, get to a hip, pick up on a single, and stand up. You know what I'm saying? Not get in on a single, but use it to stand up. But like Khabib's strengths is specifically using people's attempt to do that to mat return them. You know what I'm saying? Like when did Conor get up against Khabib? After Khabib had hit him in the face for about a minute, was tired, and you know what I'm saying? And like I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here is the dynamic of this fight where it goes is really, in my opinion, dependent on how reliably, and this is obviously true for all of his fights, but especially in this one because, the windows to getting there are much, much, much narrower. How reliably can Khabib get Gaethje to the fence? And when he gets him there, can he get a takedown? And if he does, what can he do with it? Like, in my opinion, like if he has round 1 against Gaethje that he had against McGregor, it's not the same. He's gonna not have nullified Gaethje as strongly as he would have McGregor in that.
I agree.
Gaethje, he's gonna have to inflict a lot of damage and make Gaethje work really hard so that he slows down, so that he has a bigger.
I'm sorry. Again, I'm super sorry to interrupt you. But on another note, like Gaethje is one of the toughest guys, just mentally and physically, Khabib's ever fought.
Yeah.
So guys like McGregor, they'll kind of give him the fight a little bit. Guys like Poirier, they'll kind of be like, I kind of lost the fight, whatever. They'll take the fight off whenever. Guys like Edson, they'll do that. Gaethje, he will fight to the end. You know what I mean? You gotta like finish him.
It's been proven, yeah. And I'm not too concerned about that. It's not his resolve. Like, you can see in fights where he's forced to work. Like in the 2 fights he's lost, he was there 100%, but he was tired. You know what I'm saying? It's more like can Khabib tire him out to the point where he's slower and not as effective and his footwork isn't as good? You know what I'm saying? Because then I think Khabib can enter clinches like he did in round 4 against McGregor with impunity.
Real easy.
Yeah, but the question is, what's Gaethje's plan going to be? Gaethje's plan is going to be simple. When Khabib's on the outside, he's going to throw low calf kicks. For us, Khabib made a big deal of saying, Khabib will just shoot on those. I don't think, no. Those low calf kicks coming from far away, you have to shoot so far into them. The leg is already so protracted or projected away from the hips that it's very easy to sidestep away or to scramble out of them. I think the calf kicks are going to be a problem for Khabib. You really don't see him doing anything about leg kicks. And, he tries to parry them across the body sometimes. Against Poirier, he was trying to, but like when McGregor kicked his leg and stomach in round 3, Khabib just backed up and reset. He was there, he was game, but he wasn't doing anything about them. And those can add up over time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
And so that's going to be a key for Gaethje, the low leg kick. But more than just the calf kick, more than just the scrambles, it's going to be his footwork and control of distance. If you watch his fight against Ferguson, I was analyzing that fight to see, could Khabib use any of these striking exchanges that maybe he creates with a jab and a 1-2 to duck under and while Gaethje's trying to counter get in? Yes, obviously it's possible, but Gaethje's feet were so on point in that fight. Every time he threw a punch, he finished the combination by not stepping back. He was flaying to an open angle every time he threw a combination. It would be low kick, left hook, and then he would end up here so that he created some space between him and an angle, right? He's never like he was so good about angling off after at the end of his combinations that it would be hard for someone who wants a linear engagement to catch him in place, And that's something that not enough people, even Gaethje himself in his kind of Neanderthal way of speaking, was like, bro, no one's analyzing it because it's not a thing yet. Or, Gaethje, when you said he has a good read of the dynamic, I agree, but I also disagree because I love Gaethje, but I think he's kind of stupid. Like when you hear him talk, like he just so cool. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. But he was saying like, my feet are so good. Trevor Whitman's coached me to have such good feet. I always dominate the center, and that's what's going to happen. That's what I think. He's going to sidestep and make when Khabib said make me miss, he didn't mean like how Ronda Rousey would, or yes, like that actually. He didn't mean like but you know what I'm saying. He doesn't mean like you throw it like how like the rope-a-dope thing where you're just moving your head and standing there. Like he meant like he's going to make me run forwards, shoot on takedowns, and literally just shoot at air, like how Rousey was doing against Holly Holm. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be like the game plan. But he's not going to just step out and move. He's going to step out. Habib's going to be out of position. He's going to counter him to death. You know what I mean? And that's honestly what I see happening. And like you were saying, if Khabib could just hold his stance in the pocket better, because you see him throw punches and he just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be so helpful. But Khabib gets out of position a lot with his striking, and he like realize, oh fuck, I'm in a bad spot. And he'll do this thing. You know what I'm saying? And then like turn his curry out. You've seen him go.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. He's like, fuck, this isn't good. And then he runs away. But honestly, I think, like I said, to summarize my whole rant about that, I want Khabib to win. I'm more confident now that he can because his read of the fight seems to be pretty good. But I'm leaning toward Gaethje. It's like 60-40 for me. Gaethje's game plan is obviously going to be evasive and make Khabib pay in the clinch because he's got really good clinch striking. Make Khabib pay at range. Make Khabib pay for shooting or coming in on a straight line by stepping out and countering. And in those wild exchanges, like against Poirier, like where he just ran in and threw a 3-piece, like jab, cross, uppercut, he's going to get so badly countered by, he can't do that. And Khabib has to reliably enter the clinch with him and use it to, I think, get him to the fence and make the most out of those takedowns. Tire him out so that his tactics aren't as effective, so that he can stand with him without as much danger and then get to the clinch easier. Because Gaethje does get tired. You can see him slow down. He takes these big deep breaths and his hands go down.
Yes. A quick last little point, I guess, on the dynamics, man. Like, I'm not even Gaethje gets tired very, very, yes, that's very clear to see. But Gaethje will fight hard while tired.
That's true.
Even though Khabib also, I think he has great cardio. He gets tired as well. But even when Khabib gets tired, his game just doesn't flow no more, because he doesn't have reliable entry points to get to his game. Like Gaethje, his game is good, so he'll get tired and still fight and still be productive and still do stuff going. When Khabib is tired, he just kind of sits there. If you're Iaquinta, he'll jab you up. If you're like somebody that's good, he'll just probably take the round off, like McGregor in the third round. He'll just take the round off. He can't, he has to use it to get his energy back, because his game can't flow, because his entries are so unreliable and so energy intensive and so athletically intensive. So even if they get tired, which I think is going to be a really grueling fight, man.
Me too, yeah.
I still think Gaethje is going to be much more productive. And in those productiveness while they're tired, he's going to be putting a lot of damage on them for free, basically. Doing a lot of things for free. Now, like I said, again, I'm picking Gaethje. I'm very confident, but I can't say 100% confident. If Khabib comes in with at least a few really clean tactics to get clinch entries, to get shot entries, and use that to push to the cage, I think he'll have a lot of success.
That was my question to you. So I was going to ask you, what do you think those tactics hypothetically would be?
Like I say, drawing out, unfortunately, these tactics are kind of higher level striking that I think he can implement. But if he can if he gets to draw out counters, pressure better. Like if his footwork is a lot better to start the pressure, he could do things like to get clinch reviews better, use his strikes to set up things. But again, bringing it back, like that leader in hand he threw against McGregor to get McGregor to throw the left hand to shoot, bam, stuff like that, little things like that. He can do things like that to Gaethje. He'll be able to enter his clinch better, get shot entries better in open space. Again, I'm not confident Khabib can do that. He hasn't really shown consistently to be able to do that. He doesn't have the striking skills to be able to implement that, to be able to do things like that consistently, that I could pick him. But if he just got really good at that over the training camp, or he learned, or he got good, his life will be a whole lot easier. Yes, whole lot easier. And like you said, when you say talking about keeping stance, if he can let a shot fire off, even if it hits him, right? Let's say the shot, Gaethje throws something, it hits him, boom. He can ride that much better in stance and then cover distance much better off of that, and use that to just cause exchanges, grappling exchanges and whatnot. But yeah, to me, Khabib's path to victory and the overallness to me, man, and ironically, I think he's the one walking the tightrope. Unlike most people is you can do all the good you want, man. You get him down, Khabib get you down, round's over, you can beat up that round, and then now it's going to snowball into Khabib's game. I think Khabib is going to have to be extraordinarily, to me, in my opinion, diligent.
I agree.
Not take damage, command exchanges on the feet really good, and then make his takedowns and all that count. And he only has a little bit of time. Yes, and he only has a little bit of time to do that before stuff starts to pile up on him. So, it's a funny kind of role reversal in my opinion.
It is, yeah.
When it comes to because Khabib, who cares? You hit him in the face, who cares? You hurt him, who cares?
Normally.
Who cares? He just you touches you, he gets you against the cage, it's over. Right, round's over, and subsequently fight's gonna be over. I think Khabib is gonna have to get his game going quickly. In my opinion.
I agree.
Not saying that he can't. Not saying, because Khabib, he's an all-time great fighter. Again, I can't stress how much I rate Khabib as a fighter. I can't stress how much I respect his skill set and his game and his ability and his smarts and his ability to do things that he needs to do to win.
Use what he has as best.
Yes, uses what he has to win. Yes, that he can and win. But I think there are just spaces that he's just not equipped to deal with Gaethje in the big picture terms. And he's going to have to be fighting a very good fight to be beating Gaethje.
It's a tough ask. It's not impossible, but it's a lot to expect. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. A lot to expect. Quite ironically, in my opinion.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. It's not that he can't win. It's that what has he demonstrated? Well, is it possible that he can do it? Yeah, if he puts the snippets of him doing those things you see once or twice all together. But when you see the probability is lower because you see Gaethje reliably going to, like in his entire last fight, things that are going to work against Khabib. That being said,
Yes, exactly.
like just to pick it back off what you said before we move on, Khabib needs to be very careful in this fight. He needs to be, not like you said, on task, but like it was going to require a lot of discipline. Like he needs to be disciplined with tactics that work, which we hope he developed. When Javier Mendez talked about it, they seem to have a very good grip on the problems with this, right? Like we know we can't just shoot at him like other opponents. We know we can't just, we're training as though the takedown's not going to come easy. We know we have to use our strikes to get to it. We know he's a very good leg kicker and we have to be careful. You know, Javier didn't mention anything about his footwork. Habib did. They seem to know what the problems are. You know?
Part of it is knowing the problems, and part of it is having just the skills to be able to handle
exactly. So,
like DC was talking about the head kick against Jones for 3 years,
and he got head kick. It's just
because his game flows into head kicks. You know what I mean? His game flows into head kicks. If he knows it, he says, you know what? Let me train this skill set so that way I don't get head kicked. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, knowing problems is different than actually be able to solve the problem.
That's what I meant by discipline. You have to stick very close to a game plan that works those problems out. And it's hard when you get tired and they're your habits. Yeah.
But I will say, most fighters, man, they don't even know the problems that they're facing when they fight people. So at the very least, hopefully, Khabib can come in with the ability to have some little pieces that just make his life easier. Like, I'm not expecting him. Like, I'm so sad I didn't get to say this for the DC fight. It's a little segue. DC was talking about the body shots the whole time. And I was like, you know what? I think DC's going to come in with like little tricks, like little counters off of body shots, but his body shot defending game is not going to be a system. Yes, like he still reaches, like in the fight, like if you watch the fight, he was getting hit with body shots like in the first 2 rounds. Like again, it's just the Stipe just devolved into a little sloppy fight. But like DC was still getting hit with body shots because his game, his system isn't built to handle body shots. He doesn't have like the striking system. His process isn't as good to handle body shots. He sees a shot coming, he'll flail, boom, have his hands out there. Body shot's easy to get to. You know what I mean?
It's literally what his thing is.
Yes, but that's how his offense flows from. He fights the hands, little shots, boom, jabs, boom. He'll fight the hands, boom. If he has to keep his hands at base, he does not have the defense to handle that.
Then he gets jabbed. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, he does not have the defense to handle. He doesn't have the game to flow from that. So just get touched, boom. Keep his hands at base, touch. His game has to get going from to do offensive work. He sees something, he flails, blocks. That's his defensive system as well. Check the head, boom, 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 flail. Body shots open. But he can do good stuff. He can land his counters. He can close distance well. He can do that. So unless he changed his whole system, he's not going to stop Stipe from hitting him from the body for free. You know what I mean? And to me, it's the same for Khabib. But if Khabib is such a dominant fighter in his area of domain, that if he has little things that get him to the boom, boom, he's gonna find massive success from that. I just don't think he is. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did that because Khabib is a great fighter. Khabib is a great fighter.
Agreed. That was the only difference between the DC thing is DC doesn't really have an area of performance where he is so dominant relative to other fighters that he can make up for the not having a systematic answer to the problems. Whereas Khabib does.
Exactly. Like DC gets somebody down. It's like, that's good for him, but like
it's not his area of excellence.
If you're good, it's okay. You know what I mean? If Khabib gets somebody down, it's like
it could be bad.
Bare minimum. Yes, at the bare minimum, you just lost. Your round is completely controlled. Bare minimum.
Maybe 10-8.
Bad. If it's bad, 10-8 or get finished or just take massive damage. You know what I mean? If you're Connor in the first round or Al, okay, you just survived the round, but you lost the round completely. Bam. You got his boom.
He's got the point.
For sure. Boom. Yeah. For sure. Against DC, like his best area is his wrestling and his clinch. But even his wrestling and his clinch aren't just like, whoa, you cannot compete with him in that area.
Jones did.
Yes, exactly.
You beat him in that area.
Exactly. Yes. It's not like, oh my gosh, DC got you there. He got this space. No matter what, you could be winning the fight handily. He flows to there. It's scary. You know what I mean?
It's not.
Khabib has that, unlike DC. Yes.
Yeah.
Khabib has that, unlike DC. So again, like I say, we talked about it a lot. I think we have a pretty reasonable read of the fight. I think Gaethje is gonna win. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Khabib wins. I'm pretty confident in Gaethje gonna win. There's some unknowns. Things that could just be like, you know what? Let's say Gaethje does excellent and his takedown defense against the cage is poor, just bad, because you don't know. That could happen, you know what I mean? Let's say he gets taken down and his bottom game is just trash. Could happen. You know what I mean?
That could be bad. It could break his nose with elbows and shit. You know what I'm saying? It could be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like like there's little things that we don't know, but in the overall big picture of my assumptions, I think Gaethje I think Khabib is the one fighting a fight that he has to be on his P's and Q's for.
I agree.
My opinion.
I agree. However, I'm picking Gaethje, but not with nearly the amount of confidence that you have. For me, it's only maybe even 55, 45, right? Like he's got 10%, and it's always flip flopping. By the night of the fight, I might have my mind completely changed. You never know, because before I was thinking blowout, Gaethje wins because Khabib, but I thought that with McGregor. I thought no, Khabib is he's just gonna do the thing he's always done and get countered. You know what I'm saying? But no, he actually fought really smart. He did everything he had to do to win that fight. Literally everything you could ask of him.
And McGregor fought really dumb too. But.
That's true, yeah. But I still would have given it to Khabib. The best, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yes, I agree. Best McGregor still loses.
That's what I think. Because all the things that Khabib did in that fight were like tailor-made to beat the best McGregor.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go with probably Gaethje, hoping for Khabib 100%. And I'm not as confident as you. I won't be surprised either way. We can move on now.
Okay, yes. So we'll get back into the co-main event now for the fight. Robert Whittaker and QA Lanier.
QA. I got that finally,
I think if Bobby Knuckles is on his, if he's good, still good. He looks to be physically there. I don't really think Jared has much to offer. Jared's a good fighter, but his game is kind of supplemented by like his power, his athleticism, and his length. He's really long too. People kind of forget that. He has a good jab. Yeah. He has a good jab. He hits hard clearly. But he doesn't to me do much like that, like will trouble Whittaker, other than maybe kick at him, which might be some problems. But Jared doesn't like. He doesn't have a game that like builds to like craziness to me. So like, I think Whittaker can counter him easily because if Jared attempts to pressure, which Jared will do if he feels like he can pressure, he'll pressure, and especially pressure behind the jab. He has a good jab. But I think Whittaker's going to be able to have easy counters off his jab all night, be able to blitz him, angle off. I'm not really confident in Jared's ability to win.
Same.
Unless Whittaker's a little bit shot, he can catch him on the way in. But even still, Jared's not too much of a counter puncher, too much. I actually kind of, if Whittaker's on point, I don't really see Jared doing much. He might get finished, in my opinion.
Yeah, high kick. I agree. Jared Cannonier, I think, like you mentioned, he could kick him. But Jared, from what I've seen, his game isn't really built around kicking the legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, against Anderson Silva, he just threw them. And Silva's dumb, so he just took them. You know what I'm saying? But
no, and he hurt Hermanson with some leg kicks. But to me, he likes to, pressure power box. Right. That's kind of like his game. He likes to pressure power box. And he has a good jab. He'll move his head in the pocket. He's not a bad fighter, not at all. Just to me, he doesn't but he doesn't have a game that I don't think Whittaker can't handle.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a game that'll force Whittaker into deep exchanges. He doesn't have a game that'll corral Whittaker against the cage or anything like that, or footwork to stop him, or a jab that's nuanced enough to play with Whittaker's guard and whatnot, or a jab that's nuanced enough to counter him and whatnot on his entry.
Punish him for leaping in.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Catch him leaping in. I think Jared just gonna just walk into shots the whole day. He might pressure a little bit. I kind of don't see much for Jared much in this fight.
Wait, hang on. You don't think he's gonna summon Thor's hammer and just take a?
He might use the QAnon powers to just manifest his body with titanium. Then I got to pick him for that.
Yeah, he might grow the third arm out of his asshole and start flailing it around. It's gonna be
exactly because if Jared does that, I would be wrong. That's a possibility.
It's about to be hard.
That's a possibility. Yes,
he might.
It's really hard.
He could channel Ngannou's arm. It's gonna be grown through the top and just uppercut him like he did Overeem, and then it's gonna lock. Yeah.
That's true. You only have two arms to defend, so you can't defend the third arm.
Really, for sure.
Yeah. But if Jared does that, I gotta pick him for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Whittaker's ready to handle 3-arm punches coming at him like that.
No, it'll be really hard. Yeah,
very difficult.
We haven't seen anything in his fights. I can't do this anymore.
I God. I don't really see Jared winning.
Same.
In my opinion, I don't see him winning.
I don't have much to add except that he is extremely strong. When you watch him against Jack Hermanson was was really pushing for the takedown. And at times, I thought he had it. Like, he had the position, it looked like, for a knee tap at one point or something. But Cannonier was just so strong. It honestly looked like Jack Hermanson was wrestling with, like, not appearance-wise, but just with the difficulty he was having, like a tree trunk or something. Like, it was more like he was... I don't know how to explain, like, the amount of exertion he put forth for as little movement or off balance as Jared Cannonier actually demonstrated was so... It looked so exhausting and futile. So that's the thing. And you know what? In his last fight, what Robert Whittaker showed a pretty surprising and, like, I thought encouraging ability to do was shoot into, like, literally knee to the mat, level change into penetration steps, like, into, like, single legs and come up with punches and stuff like that. I think he can probably use that to tire a guy like Cannonier out. And then even at the end against Whittaker, he did that. And then, like, I'm not Whittaker. I'm so sorry. That's himself. Against Till. Right. Like, you were thinking, oh, Till's stuffing it, so he's going to the uppercut. But then I think he actually shot full force and completed the takedown. You know, so it looked like he was using those to get inside and then throw an uppercut or whatever and then move off. Honestly, I think he's going to have too much for Cannonier. He's gonna win at a lot of ranges. He'll probably stomp the lead leg, you know, like he does that a lot. He'll probably throw front kicks. He'll leap in with the blitz jab and then the left. Or is he a southpaw?
Who can Jared?
No. Sorry, Whittaker's orthodox. That's right.
He'll switch.
Right, because I'm thinking different fights. He'll probably leap in with the jab and then throw right straight, and then maybe he does this thing where he'll shoulder feint. Yeah, and he throws it and then he shifts and he throws becomes a lead high kick. But he throws a high kick as you circle out. He tried it a lot again. I think Adesanya called it like a high five. Like, he was numbering the combination. I don't know what it's called, but he'll do a thing where he'll shoulder feint, step back, shoulder feint, step back, and he'll leap in like he literally leaps. Like, I watched it in like times like 0.25 speed. I mean, he'll leap across, throw the jab, throw the right hook. He'll get you to like step back and maybe circle off to his open side, and then he'll angle off and throw the high kick. It's almost like how Wonder Boy throws it. It's not out this way. It's like this, right? It loops around as he fades back. You know, I think he'll probably do that. I see him having a lot of answers for Cannonier in a lot of different ranges and just being able to overwhelm and tire him out. That's what I think. You know, maybe Cannonier clips him though, like just catches him and then it gets hard. Yeah. But he's really good at surviving. Whittaker's actually like when you watch him against Yoel or against like who's the dude with puts his head straight in the air who just beat Shabazian? Brunson. Yeah. Like, he was doing a lot. Like, he was just constantly moving. Like, he threw a side kick and jumped off of that to run away. It was clinching. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Honestly, I think it could end up being like, oh shit, I got hit really hard, because Whittaker can kind of just be like, I am gonna leap in with my head up in the air now and just kind of do something stupid. He does. You know, Whittaker will just do something dumb all of a sudden. You know what I mean? But most likely, regardless, I think Whittaker kind of beats him up and maybe finishes him.
I agree. Yeah, pretty much my read on the fight. So for the rest of the card, do you want to talk about Ankalaev and Kudalaba? Like, you know,
all I have to say,
Caucus boy.
All I have to say about that fight. Oh shit! Is Volkov fighting in this against Walt Harris?
Yeah.
Man, they keep throwing these big black dudes at Volkov. They keep fucking him up.
I don't know who's gonna win that fight though, because yeah, who cares? Just heavyweight. Who cares?
Probably Volkov. I don't know. Volkov's a good striker, but I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't matter. I like both. I like Walt Harris more, especially with his dead stepdaughter, and I was so sad when he lost to Overeem.
I don't know if we recap the fight with him and Overeem, but man, like, the one time in Overeem's career he ever showed heart. Yeah. And the one time I wanted him to lose. Yeah, I know. He won. I'm like, dude, what the hell, dude?
Could this against anyone else? Why can't you have done this against Rosenstrike? I know,
somebody else, man. Yeah. I want you to catch those up. Somebody else. The one time we want him to lose.
Yeah.
I like Overeem. I just said I like Overeem.
He's my favorite heavyweight.
I was like, I want him to lose. And the one time he showed heart and come back from a fight after getting dropped, I'm like, this is wow. Yeah. MMA is built to make you sad.
To disappoint you, right?
It's built to do that.
Watch like Khabib misses weight and then Gaethje fights Michael Chandler and gets knocked out by Michael Chandler.
Oh yes, perfect. Yes.
I would be so upset.
I'll forget Michael Chandler's the replacement.
I would be so upset. You don't even know. I'd be so angry. But I want to quickly comment on something Khabib said about Michael Chandler that was so funny. He was talking about Islam Makhachev and how Michael Chandler wouldn't fight him. He goes, about Michael Chandler, who are you? Who are you? You are, and what do you say, like, 2 fights ago, you were knocked out by featherweight, and then you lose contract. You're very lucky that UFC give you contract. Who are you? I don't know you. You are underranked in UFC. Like, of course you know Islam Makhachev. Like, because the guy was saying he doesn't know who Islam is, right? And then Khabib was like, who are you? Who are you? You were knocked out by a featherweight. I thought it was so funny.
Like, I will say, Chandler, his skill set, he's older now to me. He's always really flawed.
He's kind of small.
But he matches up kind of funnily well with Khabib. I'm not picking him at all. I wouldn't pick him at all.
I still think he loses. Yeah.
Yeah. But he matches up kind of funnily well with Khabib. But Chandler's really, like, say, really flawed. Like, really flawed.
Dude, we always think maybe he's good, but honestly, I have a hard time. Like, even good fighters who show promise and do well in Bellator, like, I honestly, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time saying, because, like, they never fight elite opposition except Pitbull.
I will say, Pitbull, yeah. Michael Chandler at his best was a really good fighter. Top 10, lightweight, top 5, maybe, you know what I mean? Really good fighter, really good fighter. But no, man, like, first of all, I'm going to use a little bit of time to have a little Bellator rant. Oh my God, man, I just hate the Bellator product, man. I should say hate. But
I hate it,
Bellator,
so you can say hate.
Bellator product is bad. Like, there's no intrigue for the fights for me, man. And they have like 40 rematches for different people, or they have old people fighting, or they have random weird squash matchups. I just don't like Bellator, man. I used to watch a lot of Bellator back in the day, and I still watch it when there's like a big fight on. But like you'll have like
they have Michael Venom Page fighting I was about to bring amateurs. This is like their third pro fight, and they're fighting MVP. Like, what are you doing, Scott Coker? Like, home.
And then too, speaking of MVP, we're going on a lot of segues, but you know what? Screw it. It's fine.
Doesn't matter. It's
like
our first episode back.
Yeah, I know, right? First episode back. But speaking of MVP, like, what is the plan for him? Is it just to get cool, like, flashy knockouts? Like, are they trying to like make him like a star, or, like, build him as a fighter? He's like 33, man. Like, dude, like the one elite fighter he fought got knocked out in. Like, but like.
He was doing okay in that fight, but still.
He was doing okay. I don't put him in there. Put him in there. He's a good guy. He's not gonna beat him. He's gonna get beat up.
I want to see Roy McDonald, you know, or someone who can actually fucking wrestle. You know, when you're getting taken down by Paul Daly and it's a close fight on the wrestling against Paul Daly, like, hey, hang on, dude. All I gotta say is Bellator. I don't ever watch Bellator. I don't ever watch it. The last time I tuned into
the right decision.
The last time I tuned into a Bellator card was when Royce Gracie fought Ken Shamrock for the third time. I'm not kidding. On my fucking life.
Wasn't that in Houston?
That was in Texas somewhere. I was in high school, dude. I'm on my 4th year of university. I was like, hey, Royce Gracie coming back to fight Ken Shamrocks. You know what I'm saying? I was all excited because I was still under the, like, Gracie, like, on that thing, how they're, I believed it. Like, that you only needed jiu-jitsu. I believed that stuff, okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm not kidding. I was one of those motherfuckers who was like, yeah, Royce came back and beat Sakuraba, so what now, bitch? I was one of those idiots. You know what I'm saying? And I just was young in MMA. I was new. You know what I'm saying? I was 16 or whatever. Whenever the fuck it was, okay? I'm never watching I will watch the highlights sometimes. I hate Bellator. Everyone's, oh, you stupid casual, you only watch UFC. Bro, that's for one. So if there's a good fight outside the UFC, I'll watch it. But that's where all the best fighters are. Do you want, how many, okay, I want you to tell me, is there another football league that isn't the NFL? If there is, there is. Okay. Okay, who watches that shit, dude? I swear to God, I don't give a fuck. The moment Israel Adesanya starts competing with like the top 5 middleweights, all move somewhere else, I'll go there and watch it. But right now, I hate Bellator. I hate everything about it. Michael Chandler could have been a great fighter, but he spent his best years fighting bums in Bellator. Okay, so that's that. I don't want to hear anything about how he's the best style matchup for Khabib. Suck my dick, Michael Chandler. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Oh, that was pretty good. But no, yeah. So we got our little Bellator rant out the way. Well, we're gonna try to add more of those in the future episodes and one because it's important to have more Bellator rants. But okay, yeah. So on to the rest of the card. Ankalaev and
Ankalaev. That's what I wanted to say.
I don't like that they're making this fight, man. Just like these guys, like let Ankalaev do good things. Like,
well, it's because of the rematch. It was so fucking botched.
I know, but like, okay, like,
who cares? Yeah,
let it go. Yeah, let it go, man. Like, Ankalaev could be like a good fighter, maybe. Let him like fight guys, cause that like it's been like a year. Like he just been like a year.
Well, they tried to reschedule it twice.
I know. Yes, it's been like a year. Like it's just like let it go. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, and Ankalaev is one of the people who I think one of the few light heavyweights who's actually got promise. And you know what I'm
I
saying?
know, yes.
He got a good skill set.
Let
He
him
can
fight other
grapple.
people.
He's got a good southpaw double. You know what I'm saying? He throws a good left straight. Throws a good left body kick. And even that, like, he can fight from both stances pretty reasonably. On the ground, he's pretty good. I mean, actually, he's really good. Like, dude, he was winning that whole fight against Paul Craig, and he just got triangled in the last, like, literally the last second. I was so upset.
He still is a light heavyweight at the core because you shouldn't be getting submitted by Paul Craig, but well.
Okay, he was beating the shit out of Paul Craig. He was beating the shit out of him. It looked like it was such a Chael Sonnen moment. I was like, come on. How are you gonna get fucking submitted by this bum? He's a bum. I was so upset when he did. My friends were sitting here with me, and they made a bet on who would win that fight. And one of them was like celebrating because he picked the Dagestani. He's like, he's gonna win. I'm gonna win $5. And then he got second, and he just turned. He turned around and was like this. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But honestly, just quickly, I don't like Ian Kudalaba. I think he's an asshole. The whole thing he does where he screams and he's like, "Oh, I'm knocked out." He got hurt a little bit, and then he made it look way worse. And it's like, dude, you play stupid games, you win stupid fucking prizes. What the fuck was that? The ref thought you were out on your feet. Okay, you're a bum light heavyweight, and the ref spared you from a brutal KO. I don't know. I don't like. Actually, Ian looks pretty good early on in some fights, but then he just gets tired, and I don't know, whatever. I like Ankalaev. I want him to knock out Ian Kudalaba, and I want to see him go, climb the ladder. Like in a couple of years, what if he goes up there? He can maybe compete with some of the better guys in the light heavyweight division. I think he's a good fighter. Exactly. Yeah. And he has some flashy knockouts too, like head kicks. I think some knees, stuff like that. He's a good fighter. Anyway, so
I know exactly.
That's all. All I really tune into that fight for is because I don't like Ian Kudalaba.
Okay, so on the card also, I mean, like, we'll just go over quickly of like a little taste of everything else. Tai Tuivasa fighting Stefan Struve. That should be pretty funny. Like, I think it's be pretty entertaining.
I like Tuivasa. He's a nice guy.
Seems. I don't like. Okay, no. Yeah, he might be a nice guy. God damn, man. Like, as a fighter though,
it's horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And Stefan Struve, like he is who he is. You know what I mean? Like, we know who Stefan Struve is. Like, it's whatever. But no, the fight should be kind of funny or fun at the very least. Hopefully, you can probably get a chuckle out of it. Todd Duffy's. Oh, I didn't even see that. Wait, what? Okay, no. I'm on Wikipedia. Pause. I could be wrong. It says Todd Duffy's fighting Sam Alvey.
No, I don't see that. It says Sam Alvey's fighting Jung Da-un.
Okay, yeah, because I'm on Wikipedia. Yes, I just saw that. Let me research again. I'm sorry.
Wait, isn't Todd Duffy heavyweight?
Yes.
He at one point in his career he looked good, and then he got fucked up by Overeem, was it, or something, and he just looks horrible now. But at one point in his career he was like, one fight I saw of his, I was like, God damn, this guy looks good. And then he just went to shit.
I guess he's not fighting Todd Duffy. He's fighting, like I said,
some Korean guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher his name.
Yeah. It's just Jung Da-un. Like, it's not too hard.
Da-un doesn't sound right. I feel like we're saying that wrong.
We might be. Yeah. We might be. Okay, we should stop. We should just stop before we
say just Jung or JDU. I don't know. Whatever. The guy he's fighting. Okay.
Yeah, but no, man, because Wikipedia says Todd Duffy's fighting Sam Alvey. Now, I have to do a double take. I was like, what the hell?
That's wrong.
Yeah. I don't really like watching Sam Alvey fights. Like,
he's weird. He's bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes he catches guys with hard shots. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, he almost knocked out Ryan Spann. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway,
Casey Kinney and Nathaniel Wood should be a very good fight. Mm-hmm. They should be on the main card, but it's okay.
Who should they replace? Who should they be replacing? They should absolutely replace Lauren Murphy versus this random woman.
And Phil Hawes is fighting some other random guy at middleweight. I don't know why.
Probably because his opponent had to pull out or something like that, and they're just
but Phil Hawes shouldn't be. He shouldn't be on the main card.
What the fuck? I don't. Yeah.
And he has connections.
Yeah, I don't know. Volkov belongs there. The top 3 guys belong there. Who the fuck is Lauren Murphy? Yeah. I love their sport. I don't know who that is.
Hey, Lauren Murphy, cool. No Lauren Murphy slander.
Dog, she might be cool, but I don't know who she. That doesn't mean she belongs on the pay-per-view thing. Like, over.
No, but Nathaniel Wood and Casey Kinney is gonna be a good fight. That should be a good fight. That's a good fight right there.
Let's look at the early prelims. Who is this? There's some woman from Uzbekistan who's fighting.
Which one?
I don't know. I saw an advertisement for it on YouTube. Let me look it up.
Because you're darn culture virtue.
No, son. Like, Uzbekistan is north of Iran. It's up this way.
I hear a stand. I automatically think He's one of the people that you like. There's a stand in the name. It's you got to stand.
Okay, Iran, Armenia, Georgia. None of those, Azerbaijan, none of those have stands. The only one with stands.
You know the other ones with the stands, man.
One of them that I like is Dagestan. The other one's in Chechnya. There's only one stand. You're just a racist.
Wow. Kind of trying to put it on me.
Yeah.
When you beginning of the episode was like, oh, I like all the Caucasus fighters, man. I gotta like, my mom is white, but my dad, he has all these, and I say, screw the white part. I gotta go to trying to whatever.
Mom's she's not even really. I mean, she is, but like it's like 30% Welsh, and then others like random Spanish countries. It's weird.
That's white.
Yeah, but like the rest, like, cause bro, my cousins on that side are literally Mexican. It's weird. Her dad got busy. He was a Mexican with 2 wives. It's a long. It's like all from where my dad, that region from Iran and then Caucasus, and then a smorgasbord of different European and South American countries that just doesn't really make sense. So I don't even like identify with that because I can't tell you what it is. It's too much stuff.
Okay. But I don't know a damn thing about my ancestors, man. So yeah.
You look Chinese and Korean. You know?
I might be. All I say is I'm a citizen of the earth. You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's the only thing I can confirm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that I know 100%. So that's all I can say.
Okay, her name is Lilia Shakirova. I want to know who she's fighting on this card.
She's fighting Lauren Murphy.
Oh, the one I said I didn't give a shit about. Yeah, I don't care about it still. I thought it was they were making because she's the first Uzbekistani fighter to be ever in the UFC, I think. So that's just a cultural moment. Like when there was this Indian fighter on a UFC Shanghai card, 2017 November, I think. He was the first Indian. He got guillotined, and like he tried this defense where he put both his feet against the cage and like reverse drop kicked off of it. Like he launched himself when it didn't work. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not the rest of the card. There'll probably be some good fights. Nathaniel Wood's a good one, but I don't know. To be honest with you, I think we've covered the big parts, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, that's about that. That's about that for our preview today. Hopefully, we can start to actually be back on time and get stuff going now.
Yeah, I think we should be able to. This was fun.
I know, right? Because, we 3-month hiatus wasn't the best. You know what I mean? We need to be a little more on our grind. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, so next week we'll recap. We'll talk a little bit about Hall and Silva and how why the hell is Silva still fighting?
This is last fight.
I hope it is.
No, he said he cried and said, "No matter what happens, this is my last fight."
I hope he did. Yeah, I hope he cried and said, "No more." Like, yeah.
I hope he wins though. I love Silva, man. I'm a stan, even though I understand he was never the goat, but
no, yeah, I like me some Silva too as well. Mm-hmm. I must admit, I like me some Silva too as well. But like I say, yeah, we'll get ourselves back on the grind. Hopefully, we don't see you guys at the beginning of 2021 being like, all right. So we're talking 50. About Connor and Dustin Poirier too now. So
let's see it, man. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, socials are in the description. We're gonna be consistent again. We missed y'all. Hope y'all missed us. And yeah, peace out, guys. I almost hung up the call.
Dang.